Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Disclaimer. I do not assume any responsibility or liability for any of the content in this video that might make you feel uncomfortable and/or that you may object to. The information in this video is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees that it will make you feel good or happy. Viewing beyond this point is a decision that you have made. The content of this video is for a mature and open-minded adult audience. Thank you, and please have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to this video. Today we are going to be discussing Hair. Not this, but the musical. And I'm going to be mainly pulling from the 1979 theatrical version of the musical. It is lightning in a bottle. It is a snapshot of a time in American history which I don't think will ever be repeated. I don't think we as a society are able to do that again. It was some of the best goddamn music that I've heard in my life it was made between about 1964 and about 1978. I mean, the 80s had some good music, the 90s had music, but that snapshot in that time period was just for me, growing up, being born in 69 and growing up in the 70s, growing up on a military in a military town. So yeah, it's something. For people that aren't Gen X, people that are younger, I would say people younger than, say, 35. It's hard to articulate our emotion. We can show the history. We can sit here and go blah blah blah. Johnson did this, Nixon did this. Ford did blah blah blah. We can write it. We can show the history. That's easy enough to do. But this movie, I think, gives it emotion, gives it feeling. The movie is about our hero, Claude. Young kid, Oklahoma, gets drafted. Has to report to New York for whatever reason. Probably so the movie can happen. Or the story can happen. When he gets there, he falls in with a group of hippies. You have Berger, Wolf, Lafayette, Janey, which are the main the main group of hippies he falls in with. He's naive. He's not dumb. He's actually fairly intelligent. He's just naive to how the world outside of his little Oklahoma farm runs. They come across and run into Sheila, who's an aristocrat, society type person, establishment, and and Claude immediately falls in lust with her. They have a series of adventures, and you have some really good music. Nell Carter, who is one hell of a singer. Some of her gospel stuff, A lot of her pop stuff, a lot of her stuff from that time period is just, and her gospel stuff. You can be a stone cold atheist, and Nell Carter singing gospel will move you. You will feel something. She's just one of those singers that just has that presence, has that. Unfortunately, she passed a number of years back, but still, she was a just a wonderful singer. They do in the movie, they do Nina Simone's I Ain't Got No, I've Got Life. They break it up. In the first part, I Ain't Got No is sung mainly, I mean, it's a collection of different singers, Ike Turner, a couple others that I can't believe, but mainly it's Nell Carter. And her voice, when she digs down into the I ain't got no, and you feel it in your skin, you feel it in the back of your neck and down your arms, and it is just that. And that song, now on a sidetrack, if you want to be moved, do a YouTube search for Nina Simone, I Ain't Got No, I Got Life. And I think it's in France. It's a live performance. She's in France, I believe. She's playing it. She's on the piano. It's black and white footage. And that will move you. That her singing that, and it's just first and foremost, Nina Simone is just a powerful woman. She was a survivor of racial prejudice in the South who married a Jewish rabbi who was a survivor of the Holocaust. But that Nina Simone's her own video, and that's worth doing. I may have to do that video and see what I have to do to clear copyright, because that woman is powerful. She is the godmother of the civil rights movement. And she earned that title. But back to hair. There's just wonderful things. The LSD song, LSD / Hare Krishna. That is a wonderful song. I wished I could play it for you, but copyright. The first time I tried to do this video, I tried to sneak it in, and yeah, YouTube's like, no. So, but that is basically the scene. Is Claude. This is when he gets introduced to the LSD, and he basically, they set his LSD trip to music, and it's him and Sheila getting married. There's a lot of Christian symbolism, there's a lot of Hindu symbolism, there's a lot of mixing. They mix the symbolism, then they rip it apart, then they smash it back together. And it's about a 3-4 minute scene. I imagine you can find it on YouTube. And it's just one of those things that it shows you how the mind can be awakened. How we can start to better ourselves. And going back to the I Ain't Got No with Nell Carter, that is done, and there's some wonderful costuming in both those songs. There's some wonderful costuming. In fact, in the I Ain't Got No section, there's one of the singers, one of the dancers. You see quite a lot of her panties. And it is my understanding that at the time that movie came out, that was just like, huge taboo. You don't show that part of a woman's anatomy, covered or not. You don't show it that way. And because it's just, wow, and because the way she's dressed, the mood and stuff is, it gets you into it. When Treat Williams, who in the movie plays Burger, sings the "I've Got Life" portion. The funny part is Charlotte Ree, who a lot of Gen Xers are going to know from Facts of Life, as the matron from Facts of Life. And I think she was the original housemaid in Different Strokes. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. In the comments below, please correct me if I'm wrong. But Charlotte Ree gets up on the table and dances with him. Does the grope at his butt in a couple scenes, and it's just wonderfully played. And they use language. Oh, they use language now. If you were to put that in a movie, they use a certain word that starts with an N that is extremely derogatory to black people. They use its H equivalent for white people. And they used a lot of stuff that people in this day and age would probably need to wear their brown pants to the movie theater to watch, because of what they're going to do to themselves. But that was what was going on at time period. That's the kind of language they used, and that they use it in context. They use it, they use it the way it was used. And with this far-reaching, weird-ass, left-wing purity nonsense, you couldn't replicate that in a movie today. You could not remake that movie, set it in 1968, make it about the Vietnam War, and use probably 90% of the songs in that movie because of the reference, the wording. Like I said, the people on the far left would need to wear their brown pants to the movie theater because of what they're going to do to themselves. And it's crazy that's where we are compared to where we were then. Yes, there was a lot of inequality. There was a lot of racism, a lot of sexism, homophobia, transphobia. But they weren't trying to hide it. The people on the left weren't trying to hide it. In fact, they were trying to throw it in your face, to make you look at it, make you face it, make you deal with it. Put it in the theaters, put it on the VHS tape, put it in the DVD. So you had to deal with it. Unlike now, where they want to hide, they want to clean it, they want to whitewash it. They want to pretend it never happened. It did, kids. Hate to tell you this, but the best way to get rid of a skunk is to find it and kill it. The best way to the skunk to get you is to pretend it's not there. It has a very tragic ending. the Burger character winds up switching places with Claude. He winds up getting shipped out to Vietnam, gets killed in Vietnam. And that whole probably the last 10 minutes of the movie, if you have any kind of human emotions, that last 10 minutes of the movie will rip your heart out. Because the music, the choreography, the symbolism is in your face. It's monstrous. It's not pulling any punches. It is hitting you in the face, hitting you in the gut, and hitting you in the groin over and over and over again. There's sequences in when Claude is in boot camp, floating in space, just a song that the first time I watched the movie, I watched it was either on HBO Showtime when I was a kid growing up. I was about 12 or 13 years old. That song, the way it is presented in the movie, that and 3500, those two songs gave me nightmares for like a week because of the way they're presented, the age that I was at the time, the fact that my father got blown to hell and back in Vietnam, was patched together, and yeah, and as growing up, it's now the military base is now Fort Cavazos. When I was growing up, it was Fort Hood. A lot of military folks from other countries, Israel, England, India, places like that, our allies, would come and train at Fort Hood with American troops. So I had friends that were South Korean kids, Indian kids, kids from Israel and stuff like that. All these kids that we had growing up. So for me, it was, then you watch a movie like this and it just confuses you. And on another side note, when I moved to Huntsville to start work with TDC, being told, over here, this is where only the black people go to this side of town, or only the Latinos go here, or only, these people go here, these people go there. And that confused the fuck out of me because I'd never been exposed to that. I had been exposed to, our biggest thing was you had enlisted kids, which that's what I was a part of, and you had officers' kids. Race, gender, sexuality, none of that was a big deal. It was, if you were enlisted, your parents were enlisted, you were a enlisted kid. If you're, that's the social circles. But so yeah, and this movie is a breakdown of where we were then, and in some ways we have matured and bettered ourselves past that. In other ways we haven't. In other ways we've actually went backwards in time, backwards in thought. So yeah, I highly recommend this movie. It's got a lot of themes, a lot of damn good music to start with. Just wonderful music. A friend of mine used to joke when we were early adults, going out in the world. His joke was, good music officially died on December 31st, 1979. So, you know, there's that. Like I said, check this movie out. If you want something that's going to challenge the way you view the world, I would say check this movie out. It is more than worth it. And if you're one of those ones that enjoy learning new things and seeing how those things affect how things in 1968 filmed in, you know, made a story in 1979 are affecting us in 2024 and beyond, I say check it out. I say it is worth it. It's worth the time. I mean, even if it's just the music you like. So, until next time, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.